Game time, Brian here, otherwise known as the mailman, coming from my mama's basement. Doing my little post game recap here. Not good, people. It is not good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Just got done listening to Mike McCarthy's post game press conference. Uh, so he knew all the offensive linemen weren't going to play. Tyron Smith was a game time decision. Tyron did not look happy. I would like to hear from Tyron. If Tyron does not speak, then that speaks volumes. That tells me he wanted to play. They didn't let him play. I don't know. He didn't look happy. Okay. If it's a pregame warm up type situation, why are you still in your uniform? I mean, that's not the end of the world, but I don't understand. But be that as it may, that wasn't the reason why we lost this game. The reason why we lost this game was our defense. Our defense was horrendous today. Uh, but I want to start on the offensive side of the ball. What the offense was doing for the Arizona Cardinals, playing their safeties really deep, really deep. They were leaving the middle of the field open. That's why you saw the long runs that you saw when they past the linebackers. Um, why we didn't attack the seams more with our tight ends, I'm very confused at how we attacked that. You know, very confused. Our defense, I'll get to the defense in a minute. Let me start with the offense. I'm not happy. Let me just stick to my thought. The offense, too many first down runs for our offense. I don't know about you, but you can't just run the ball every time on first down. You can't. You have to change it up. I'm not sure it just was not a good day for the play calling. I don't care what Mike McCarthy says. I don't care what anybody says. Way too many first down runs. Too many penalties. We had 13 penalties in the game. 13. 10 of which were in the first half. Now, Mike McCarthy told his team that this particular crew calls a lot of penalties. Well, you didn't do a very good job coaching it then because they made a lot of penalties, okay? Now, I'm a McCarthy guy. I thought he's had a good 2 games. His play calling hasn't been perfect. It's worked out. Didn't like it today. Did not like it today. Like I said, you weren't going to be able to take long shots downfield, but they didn't work the middle of the field past the linebackers in that zone area. They weren't allowing, Arizona wasn't allowing anything deep, but there was a lot of room in the middle of the field. Didn't like that at all. That, just looking at it, it was kind of shaky. I think they were so worried about the offensive line, and I'm going to get to the offensive line in a minute, that they were unwilling to let Dak hold on to the ball. Uh, the 4th and 4, in the fourth quarter was a horrible, horrible call. They should have taken the field goal, brought it back down to 5 points and live to fight another day there, and get to play good defense and get the ball back. In the end, their defense couldn't stop anybody, so it ultimately wouldn't have mattered. But I didn't like the call at all. The 4th and 4 was horrendous. You should have kicked the field goal there. That basically gave momentum back to Arizona. We had kind of taken the momentum. It was a very frustrating game. Me and Primetime, we streamed the game. Primetime Phil, on Primetime Phil, brought to you by Primetime Studios. We streamed the game and there was a delay, so I guess if it was going well, I wouldn't have had too much of an issue, but it just seemed like Phil just had bad news after bad news. I was a few seconds behind him. I don't know how much I could deal with that, man. That was rough. We were outcoached, outplayed, and Arizona was way more physical. You could tell the emotions. Now, are you telling me that we lose one player? McCarthy said they had a tough emotional week. Well, then you didn't do your job as a coach to get these guys motivated to play. Micah Parsons says, I am my brother's keeper. We're not going to let you down. I'm not blaming it on Parsons, but the team didn't look ready to go on defense. TJ Bass, the only bright spots I would tell you is TJ Bass and Hoffman, who played center, Brock Hoffman, played good. They were fine. The one guy who it seems like everybody could see that he's not a good left tackle, except our coaching staff. We had Chuma Edoga playing left tackle. Now, again, this isn't why we lost, but it didn't help anything. Chuma Edoga was horrible. He was absolutely horrible at left tackle. He's more of a guard. What happened last year when we had Tyler Smith at left tackle? Now we're just leaving him at guard. Why not have moved him out to left tackle, slide Edoga into left guard where he's already played this year and actually played half decent? Don't understand that one. Don't agree with that one. So offense wasn't good. A couple bright spots was Gallup got involved. One more thing about the offense. I'm tired of, listen, CD, you got to go up and grab the ball. If you get a penalty, the play in the end zone was uncalled for. You gave up on the play because you just assumed you were going to get a penalty. I'm not going to sit here and say the refs did this. You didn't get the penalty. Was it a penalty? Of course it was a penalty. But, again, go up and make the catch. And then you take that all out of play. Gallup did the same thing, looking for a penalty. That was a penalty, too. From the letter of the law, that was a penalty. But whatever. I'm not going to cry about penalties. Go up and make the damn play. So, the offense didn't score enough. The play calling, especially in the red zone, was horrendous. They did some good things. Pollard had a good game. I think the running game was good at times. I didn't like how we didn't use the middle of the field. I just thought I didn't understand it. Knowing how Arizona was playing, they were playing their safeties really deep. There was a lot of room there. You put Dak in a position. I told Phil, I said, this is the last place you want to put Dak in a one-dimensional type. We got to throw. And you saw what happened. He had no business throwing that ball. But I didn't like the play selection. I felt like we should have passed on running downs and ran on passing downs sometimes. It just seemed like, and then you want to pass when you get inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. That's a tough place to pass. I didn't get it. Did not get it. Moving to the defense. Defense gave up way too many big plays. I just wrote a couple of them down. James Conner, a 26-yard run. Josh Dobbs had a 44-yard run. I mentioned this to Primetime Phil. I mentioned it to him. Josh Dobbs had a 44-yard run. We're going to play Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is going to eat you alive if you can't play better defense on a running quarterback. Note to self, run against the Cowboys if you're a quarterback. That's what you do. They don't cover it. At least they didn't today. Rondale Moore had a 45-yard run. Broke our back right up the middle. I don't know, Dan Quinn, you got to do a better job, buddy. I know it was a rough week. You lost Diggs. The sun came out this morning. Well, not here it didn't, but where you were, it was sunny. These guys should have been ready to go. They were not ready to go. Arizona had way more physicalness. They were more hyped for the game. Dallas, and I love Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is most likely going to be the defensive player of the year. He played undisciplined ball today. He was going 1,000 miles an hour, but he wasn't recognizing stuff. Sam Williams is a problem right now. He keeps not staying disciplined, like with his lane rush. And he was offsides that they didn't call. They're lucky. One of the good things that happened, he was offsides, and they didn't call it. Michael Wilson, 69-yard catch. Huge plays. Marquise Brown, a 23-yard reception. It goes on and on. Not a good day. The reason why we lost this game wasn't the offensive line, even though I pointed out I didn't like the play calling. Udoga was horrendous. That's not why we lost. We lost the game because the defense was giving up way too many big plays and committing way too many penalties. I made a comment to primetime last night that the game isn't like it was back in the day, and it's way overly efficient, like officiated. I've seen many games today, and it's just way too many calls. It's penalty, 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 field goal position. Penalty, 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 touchdown. Penalty, 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 you're giving a field. That's not fun to watch. NFL, I know you got great ratings. Nobody wants to see it. Leave the ticky-tack stuff alone. Don't call it on either side. But that's not why we lost. We lost because our defense played more like the Hot Boys. You know, they played like the Hot Boys, all talk and nothing on the field. Every team is going to try and run the ball up the middle on you, down your throat. So every game, your main priority is to stop the run first. Whether that's the running back, the fullback, or the quarterback, stop the run. Everything starts there. Then after that, then you can worry about everything else. If you can't stop the run, you're up shit's creek without a paddle, and you're done. Okay? Stop the run. That's what we got to do. Dan Quinn, get back in the lab. That's what has to be done. Very, very frustrating game. It's not the end of the season. If anybody saw the live stream, I wasn't happy. It happens. Our record in Arizona wasn't very good. Now, I didn't think we would not have three of our offensive linemen. And I warned everybody about losing Diggs. He was playing arguably the best in the league at his position. Gilmore was a great compliment to him. He's out now. Bland is out there. I told Ultra Cowboy, I love you, Ultra, but I did tell you they're going to go right at Bland. Bland's a better slot corner than a boundary corner. Can he play boundary? Sure he can. You're going to have to show him a little bit of help. Teams are going to continue to go at him. I would like to see Mukwamu get some run out there. Slide Bland into the slot. You have Bland and Jordan Lewis for when we play our dime defense. Both of them can play the slot when we go with six defensive backs. That's what we need to figure out some things before the trade deadline comes. Before we have to make a decision on do we need to go out and get somebody or pick up a Bradley Roby or a Malik Jackson or whoever. There are guys out there. But I don't know that Bland's the answer on the outside. I like Bland, but I like him in the slot. I don't know these are the boundary corner. I would say try Israel Mukwamu. That might be the better thing. But I don't know. Very frustrating game. I know one thing. Bill Belichick is going to look at the game plan, and he's going to go right at your weakness. I don't have time for Siri tonight. Bill Belichick is going to see what you did and didn't do, and he's going to attack it. Now, I think we're going to win, probably win big next week. We've won, I think, our last 9 or 10 home games, maybe 11. Is what it is. It was a rough loss. There's not much good I could say about it. There's really not. There was a couple bright spots. Gallup actually woke up. Dak didn't have a great game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We didn't lose because of Dak, but he did not have a good game. Dak, you're going to have to run the ball when, teams are giving you the middle. You're going to have to take it. You can slide, get down. Nobody's saying you got to take a hit. There was half a dozen times where you could have just ran right through either A gap, got 7, 8, 9 yards, went down, lived that would have forced the defense to come up a little bit. And then you could have taken your shots. That would have forced the linebackers to come up even more, which would have opened up the middle of the field even more that you did not attack. Very, very frustrating loss. We were a 12.5-point favorite, and we got taken to the woodshed. We did not look good. Special teams did not look good. Um, you know, yeah, Cavante Turpin finally has a good return. It's a penalty. It seemed like every time we did something good, there was a penalty. Our defense was undisciplined, lining up off sides. That's mental, people. That's not being aware of what's going on around you. The ball is there. Look at the ball. Make sure you're not over the line of scrimmage when the ball is snapped. They weren't quick snapping it on you. You were just lazy and lined up over the ball. Can't have it. These pre-snap penalties will kill you. They will stop any playoff run. If we played like we played today, we're one and done in the playoffs. Now, I think we can be a lot better. I think our defense is really good. It's a wake up call. Um, Make no mistake, it's a wake up call. We're not gonna know until we play the Niners in 2 weeks, because I expect us to take care of business this week. It's gonna be closer than I thought, but I expect us to win against New England. But we can't play this way again. So, not happy, people. There's a lot of questions I have about this team. Um, but don't forget to join me tomorrow night. Me and my partner, Primetime Phil, 7 o'clock Eastern. We're going to look at everything in more detail and hopefully have more to talk about. It's a tough one, people. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's anything other than a kick in the gut. I expected our defense to be the one thing that we could rely on, and that would be our defense. Every game in and game out, we would have our defense to rely on. I know we lost Trayvon Diggs, but we should not have collapsed the way we did today. Shout out to the Arizona Cardinals for taking it to us. I got no excuses, and that's about all I have. I got to go. I don't know. I'm sick to my stomach. All right. I'll see everybody tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern on Primetime Phil. Look out. I will do a lunchtime chat tomorrow from work. I'm sure I'll be just as negative. It is what it is. We need to deal with this for 24 hours and move on. I'll talk to everybody tomorrow night. Peace.